Welcome to PAVRO's Certification Designation Guidelines. Demonstrate your professional excellence and achieve the CVRM designation. The Certification Committee supports PAVRO's objectives to promote standards of excellence in volunteer management by supporting professional development, learning, and growth opportunities for volunteer engagement professionals through CVRM designation, the Certificate in Volunteer Resources Management. Certified members join a select group of professionals who are recognized for their experience, commitment to ongoing development, and who continue to demonstrate knowledge and proficiency required to be successful as volunteer engagement professionals. Employers are increasingly recognizing the importance of certification as a means of hiring the talent required to meet the demands of the profession. To achieve CVRM, you are not required to write an exam. Instead, the certification process focuses on allowing you to demonstrate your practical experience and commitment to your professional development participation. Each individual who is certified promotes a wider recognition and respect for the high level of professionalism in volunteer engagement. CVRM designation is not currently recognized outside Ontario. However, no other provincial association in Canada, nor most of the United States, currently offer certification designation. Anyone who has successfully completed the CVRM designation can use the CVRM initials after their name for as long as they remain certified. Once CVRM designation is received, recertification is required every 3 years, giving you the incentive to continue your education and stay current in best practices of volunteer engagement. CVRM PAVRO members are also available to support through the certification process if a new applicant would like to be matched with a certified member. Questions regarding the process or personal qualifications may be made by contacting the certification coordinator by email, pavro@pavro.on.ca. Steps to get ready. Read the guidelines completely. Gather the information to complete the application, your work history, leadership, education, and your supporting documents, consent, and of course payment. $130 plus HST equals $146.90. Once the full application, including all of your forms and payment, are received by PAVRO, guidelines and requirements for written papers will be available. Written papers must be received within 1 year of the original application, or else the submitted fees will be forfeited. Certificates will be presented at the next PAVRO annual conference. Members not in attendance will receive certificates in the mail after conference. The names of successful applicants will be announced at the annual conference as well as through PAVRO's communication processes. Certification is valid for 3 years after the annual conference presentation. The date will be identified on the certificate. To maintain certification status, recertification must be completed every 3 years. Applicants that are unsuccessful in attaining certification will be informed of deficiencies, areas of improvement, and be given an opportunity to resubmit within a limited time frame. There will be no added fee for the resubmission. However, the edited papers must be received within 1 year of the application date. Requirements. Applicants must be a current registered member of PAVRO. Work history. Applicant is required to provide a history of their experience in administration of volunteer resources. 3 years experience in administration of volunteer resources, paid or unpaid. Work history for the last 5 years demonstrating career, direction, outlining paid and volunteer roles. List qualified experience in the work history template of the online application. Education. Applicant must demonstrate his or her commitment to professional development through educational opportunities relevant to the volunteer engagement profession. A minimum of 50 hours is required. The sessions must have occurred within 3 years preceding the application date. They must be relevant to the volunteer engagement profession, provided by a recognized educational organization, institution, or by an approved private training consultant. PAVRO recognizes volunteer centers, universities, community colleges, CAVR, local AVAs, and other volunteer engagement professional associations, both in Canada and abroad, as providers of professional development for volunteer management. Educational workshops or presentations at the workplace, if relevant to the administration of volunteer resources, may be included when attendees are not limited to volunteer resources departmental staff. Educational sessions or workshops presented by the applicant if attendees include others beyond departmental staff. Other educational providers may be submitted to the PAVRO Certification Committee for consideration. List qualified sessions in the education template of the online application. Proof of attendance is required in the attendance template. Proof of attendance may be identified by scanning a copy of the receipt, copy of agenda, or the signature of the presenter or chair of the session. So here is our certification application in Word format. You'll notice there's some highlighted yellow areas on the application form. These are the areas where you can actually fill in information. For instance, you can type your name or click to enter the date that you're doing the application. However, if we scroll down to page 3, we have a section where we can actually embed documents of proof that we actually went or attained certain types of education. So often we've been photocopying, scanning, and then sending all of these documents to the certification committee. However, this year we can actually embed them into the document. So you'll see here under proof, and these are the sections of the table where you want to embed the information. So what you'll do is enter the date of the session, the title, who presented, the number of hours of the session, and then you're going to actually insert the proof. So before you start, you want to make sure you have all of your proofs saved to your hard drive or to an attaché or a disk. And then what you're going to do is click in the area where you'd like to add the document, and you'll see my cursor is flashing right there. Then what you're going to do is go up to the menu bar and you're going to go to Insert. And under Insert, you're going to click Object. And then what we want to do is actually insert an object. So you're going to click on Object, and you're going to choose Create From File, because we're not creating a completely new document. We're actually going to take one that we currently have. Now we're just going to find it and bring it up. So right now I'm going to show an example under PAVRO here. Oh, actually I can just use one of my training examples. I have some information here, or a confirmation of my attendance. So what I'm going to do is actually insert that document, and I'll just move that box up here so you can actually see. So I've clicked on the document I'd like to attach and insert, and then I'm going to hit Insert. And you can see that that highlighted document is in that box right here. Now, what I'd like to do is actually show and display an icon. So this is the icon that's going to show up inside the box. Hit OK. And there you can see that I have my confirmation embedded into the table. And you can do that for all of the proofs that you need. And just make sure that you save your document after each time you've added a proof. This way you can ensure that your documents are embedded in your document. If by accident you accidentally embed the document in one of the other sections of the table, all you have to do is actually just click on the document, as I've done right here, click and drag. And you'll see I've moved it into this box, but we want to move it back to the proof section because that's where we need it. That's how you embed a document. Leadership. Applicant must provide documentation demonstrating his or her leadership efforts within volunteer engagement profession in the leadership template. A total of 50 points accumulated within the last 5 years. Points are awarded for each complete year the applicant holds this position. If the position is held for a portion of the year, the points are awarded on a percentage basis. Select points from a minimum of 2 categories. Category 1. Opportunities available through PAVRO. Any role on a PAVRO board, 20 points. Any role on a PAVRO committee, 20 points. PAVRO volunteer, 15 points. PAVRO mentors, 10 points. PAVRO mentees, 15 points. A presentation at a PAVRO conference, 5 points per presentation to a maximum of 15 points per year. Category 2. Other volunteer engagement opportunities. Volunteer leadership within a volunteer center or local association, 20 points. Committee member within a volunteer center or local AVA, 15 points. Volunteer at a volunteer center or local AVA, 10 points per role, maximum of 20 points per year. Publishing related to volunteer engagement, i.e., Canadian Journal of Volunteer Resources Management, Charity Village, Energize Inc., 10 points per publication, a maximum of 20 per year. Teaching a course in volunteer management at the college level, 20 points. Delivering a presentation related to volunteer engagement, 5 points per presentation for a maximum of 15. Category 3, Other. A leadership role as a volunteer, example, president, board, committee chair, coach, Cub Scout leader, 15 points per role per year. Any volunteer role. A committee member, speaker bureaus member, parent volunteer, Meals on Wheels driver, event volunteer, 5 points per role per year to a maximum of 5. To further explain, any volunteer role, i.e. a committee member, speaker bureaus member, parent volunteer, 5 points per role per year to a maximum of 5. So let's take Carol Kitchen. She's had multiple volunteer experience. What does it mean she can only claim 5 points per role? Carol volunteered at her children's school for at least one of the previous 3 years. This equals 5 points. She can only claim these 5 points once, even if she volunteered there for 3 years. So take a look here at Carol Kitchen's volunteer experience. A parent volunteer, 2016 to the present, that will earn her 5 points for the year of 2016, a committee member for a bike-a-thon from 2017 to 2018, that equals to 5 points for 2017, women's shelter volunteer 2018 to the present, 5 points for 2018. Written papers. The applicant is required to write 3 papers. 1, a personal philosophy about the volunteer engagement profession. The second one, national occupational standards. Third, on Ontario legislation. Written papers can be submitted between October and January of the calendar year to qualify for presentation of CVRM at the annual PAVRO conference. Submissions received after January 15th in the new year may not be eligible to receive certification at conference if a rewrite is required. Adjudicators will review and comment on submissions received between October to March, allowing time for edits to be made if required. The CVRM application and payment is available online. Download the application, complete the form, and return it when you're ready to apply. Questions regarding this process or personal qualifications may be made to the certification coordinator by email, pavro@pavro.on.ca. Tips for success from previous CVRM applicants. Read the guidelines for written papers carefully. Review your formatting. Make sure you have clean spelling and grammar. Provide footnotes and bibliography. References. PAVRO recommends a minimum of 3 sources to be included for each paper. Consider PAVRO, Canadian Code for Volunteer Involvement, Ontario legislation, and other resources related to the subject. And then when you think you are done, please proofread. Share with someone you trust to get feedback for clarity and ease of reading. You can also consider getting matched with a CVRM PAVRO member during the application process. This can be quite helpful. Otherwise, we wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to reading your PAVRO papers.